Hola a todos. Today I'm going to explain one of the most commonly used verbs in Spanish and also one of the most confusing for not native speaker. And it is so confusing because it has very different meanings depending on the context. And I'm sure you have seen it before. And you see it in one situation and you think it means this, but then you see it in another situation and it doesn't make sense that it means the same thing that you have seen before. So today I'm gonna explain exactly what it means and in which situations. Let's start. So pasar. Pasar, one of the first meanings is, for example, pasa al salón del fondo, like go to the back room. Los carros pasan muy rápido. Cars go by very, very fast. Then we have pasar tiempo. Pasar tiempo, now in this case, when we have pasar tiempo, it means to spend time. So, ellos no pasan mucho tiempo con sus padres. They don't spend a lot of time or much time with their parents. Ella pasó mucho tiempo en el baño. She spent a lot of time in the bathroom. Yeah. Ok. Ahora, pasar por más una emoción o un sentimiento. Pasar por plus a feeling or an emotion. Estoy pasando por una depresión muy fuerte. I am going through a very big or a very strong depression. Okay, going through this emotion, which is depression. Ellos pasan vergüenza o pena, vergüenza en pena, they are synonyms, cuando su mamá los busca en el colegio. They feel embarrassed when their mom look for them at school. So here, as you can see, they have two different meanings here. Estoy pasando por depresión, although you could also say I'm feeling depressed. Okay, I'm feeling very depressed. That can also be a meaning. It's a little, the translation uh, is a bit of far from what it is, but it has the same sentiment. And that's what is important in Spanish, that it have the same sentiment, that you are expressing the idea, even if it's not exactly as it is in your language or in Spanish, you are expressing the same idea. The person understands what you're going to understand, what you're trying to say, even if you're using other words. Because it's the same. I feel depressed. I'm going through depression. It's pretty much the same, and you are expressing what you're feeling. And the same with the verbs. They feel embarrassed when your mom or when their mom go for them to school or go to pick them up at school. So when you are reading something, and for example, verbs like this that have different meanings depending on the context. Sometimes we have one translation in our mind, but we don't have the meaning. And we need to say that, for example, okay, so they pass embarrassed. That doesn't make any sense. So if it doesn't make sense, then it has to be something else. They have to mean something else. If you understand the rest, if you don't understand this little word, so you might say, okay, I have to make a fit because I understand the rest, I understand what this person trying to convey, try to express. So this it must mean something like feel. They feel embarrassed when their mom goes for them to school. And that's it. That works, right? Especially when you're looking for something on the TV or you are listening to a podcast and you listen to that song or you to this word or you read something and you don't need to immediately stop and look for the word because that will make you that's boring. Right? In my opinion, that's boring. So look at the context. If you understand what it means, if we understand what the person or the narrator, the actor, the writer tries to express, that's enough. Then you can just write it up, write the word up, and look for it at the end of your reading. Okay, there was something extra that I wanted to say there. And let's continue. Pasar por más un lugar. La primera parte. First part. Tienes que pasar por el supermercado a comprar leche. Tienes que pasar al supermercado a comprar leche. That means you have to go. In this case, pasar means to go. You have to go to the supermarket to buy milk. The supermarket is the final destination, right? In this case, you have to go to the supermarket. Pasé por aquí para saludarte. In this case, pasar means to came because you are in the place. Imagine that you are just passing by a place and you remember that your friend works in that place, say the supermarket, and you want to go and say hi to your friend. So you say, hey, pase por aquí para saludarte. I came by here just to say hello. All right. So in this case, this is what it means. Okay. Instead of go, it means came. Well, we came in the past because pasé is in the past. Pasar por un lugar, part 2, parte 2. Vamos a pasar por Arequipa para llegar a Lima. Okay, we are going through Arequipa to get to Lima. So in this case, Arequipa is not the final destination. Lima is the final destination. So pasar por, in this case, you can also use pasar por to say you go through this place to get to another place. So you go through point B, let's say, because point A is the place where you departure. Let's say Cusco. I live in Cusco, so here in Cusco, I have to pass through Arequipa to get to Lima, which is the final destination. Or something very common that we do when we are in waiting in the bus stop and we don't know if the bus that we're gonna take will take us to where we're gonna go. We'll say, hey, pasa por el centro comercial. Does this goes to the shopping mall? So meaning that if the person say yes, it's because either have a stop near or right in front of the place you want to go. Okay, pasa por el centro comercial, pasa por el supermercado, pasa por la escuela, etc. Ok, ahora pasar más una celebración más con alguien. So, pasar, celebration with someone. Voy a pasar la Navidad con mis amigos. I'm going to spend or I'm going to celebrate even Christmas with my friends. Okay, you can fit whatever word like you like more. All right, I'm going to spend Christmas with my friends, like I said. That will be the closest translation, but the meaning can be I'm going to spend, or I'm going to celebrate, or I'm going to be with my friends on Christmas. Or I'm going to be on Christmas with my friends. Pasaría mi cumpleaños con mi familia en Venezuela si pudiera. So I would spend, or I would be, or would celebrate again my birthday with my family in Venezuela if I could. All right. Pasar más una celebración más en un lugar. So, pasaré el año nuevo en Nueva York. I will spend, I will celebrate New Year's in New York. Él pasó el Día de los Padres en Madrid con sus hijos. He spent, he celebrated, he was on Father's Day in Madrid with his sons or his children. All right, okay, with his children. So here you can also say it doesn't really matter. You can also say, like we did before, first the person and then the place, right? You can mix them up. It doesn't really matter. We don't pay attention to that really. But sometimes when just naturally, if we want to emphasize either the place or the people that we're going to be with, that's what we say first. But it doesn't really matter, right? Lo que, más pasar es que. Okay, so lo que has different meanings, and that's for another video. But in this context, in this context, lo que pasa es que, or it could be, sí, lo que pasa es que, is like, the thing is that, lo que pasa es que no tengo suficiente dinero. The thing is that I don't have enough money. For example, a friend of you invited you to go to the cinema, and she said, "Hey, let's go watch the last Marvel movie." And you will say, "Well, yeah, I would love to, but the thing is, me gustaría, pero lo que pasa es que no tengo suficiente dinero. The thing is that I don't have enough money." Lo que pasó es que mi carro se dañó. The thing is that my car broke. So here, you said here, I change it to pasó because I'm talking about the past, all right? And English doesn't change really. The thing is that my car broke down. So when you say broke down, now you indicate that it's in the past. Now here in Spanish, we need to, if you're talking something in the past or in the future or whatever, you need to change the time tense. So that's why I use pasó in this case. Okay? The thing is, like I mentioned, lo que have different meanings depending on what you're saying, but that's for another video. In this case, we're focusing on pasar, and when we say lo que plus pasar es que, is the thing is that. Okay? Ahora, pasar algo. Pasar algo. Here in this case is happened, right? Something happened, or what happened. Like here, ¿qué pasó? What happened? ¿Qué está pasando? What is happening? And you can say, for example, ¿qué pasó? La niña se cayó del caballo. What happened? Well, the little girl fell from the horse. Okay, that's why she's crying, for example. And, ¿qué está pasando? What is happening? El banco se está llevando todo. The bank is taking everything. All right, so they say you get to your office and someone is taking everything out of the office, and you say, well, ¿qué está pasando? What is going on? What is happening? The bank is taking everything, right? Then pasarlo bien o pasarlo, pasarla bien o mal. Now this lo and la, important to mention. It doesn't matter. This doesn't have to do anything with ella o él, feminine, masculine. It doesn't. In this case, okay? I'm talking about this case and this case only with pasar. In other cases, of course, they have this. It matters. Like I'm sure you have heard before and you have studied before. But in this case, with pasar, that's what we're studying right now, it doesn't. For example, ella quiere pasarlo bien o genial. I could say ella quiere pasarlo o ella quiere pasarla. It doesn't really matter. In any situation, I can use both. And what I'm saying here is that she wants to have a good time, right? Or a great time, or whatever variant between bien y genial, good and great, right? O él no quiere pasarlo, o él no quiere pasarla mal o horrible. She doesn't want to have a bad time or horrible time. So here, as you can see, you can use pasarlo and pasarla for both masculino y femenino. Para masculino y femenino. Okay? Okay, why is it like this? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter right now. In this context, it doesn't matter why. You can use lo and la. Because I know a lot of people will ask me, but why? How would I know? You will know in pasar. There are a lot of videos on YouTube that you can use to see when to use lo, la, les, la, se, and all of that. But with the verb pasar, don't worry, you can use lo and la and it doesn't matter. Now, another variant of that is pasárselo bien. Okay? Pasárselo bien. And here, when we have two verbs, remember that the second verb is the one that the second verb, we don't conjugate the second verb. Now, in this case, we do not have a second verb. Now, here we have querer, like quiero pasarlo, quiere pasarlo. And here we don't. So the meaning is pretty much the same. It's just that we change the conjugation. Me la o me lo pasé bien. It's the same. I had a great time. I have a good time. ¿Te la pasaste bien o te lo pasaste bien? Did you have a good time? ¿Por qué se la pasó mal? Why did he or she had a bad time? Nos la pasamos bien. Nos la pasamos mal. We had a bad time. Se lo o la pasan bien. They have a good time. Okay. So this, so you can see, I hope this is very useful for you, and I hope you start using it. And first of all, you need to understand it, hear it, even read it, and then start using it. All right. When you feel more comfortable to use it, just use these words and any other word that I have in my videos. I have more confusing word explained, grammar tips, and learning strategies in my channel. So please subscribe and Feliz Navidad.